Good morning and welcome to the Weekend Weird Files. We finally made it to the weekend, and what a fun one I'm having this week. My daughter and son-in-law are on a mini vacation to Charleston, so I'm staying at their house with Jax and all of my furry, feathery, and scaly grandbabies. Today I'm bringing you guys the recent peculiar headlines. Now, I haven't did that in a while, so I thought today would be a good day to do it again. So let's get started.
When weird stuff happens, you'll hear it here. You may not hear about it first here, but you'll still hear about it. And now your Weekend Weird Files host, Andrea Lee.
This week we're starting in New England, and I do have to warn you that this isn't really all that weird, but it's very sad and it could serve as a PSA. Back in March of last year, a 19-year-old man was admitted to a pediatric intensive care unit in Massachusetts because he was suffering from shock, multiple organ failure, and a rash. The man has only been identified as JC, but those symptoms started after he ate leftover rice, chicken, and lo mein from a carry-out order. Soon after eating the leftovers, JC started vomiting, suffering from chills and general weakness, chest pain, shortness of breath, stiffness in his neck, and blurry vision. And just before being admitted to the hospital, his skin developed a weird purplish discoloration. A friend of his took him to the ER, and from there he was airlifted to another hospital. And that same friend said that he had also eaten the same meal and vomited, but his symptoms didn't get progressively worse like JC's. Blood and urine tests confirmed that the man had a form of meningitis that prevents oxygen from getting to the organs. JC stayed in the hospital for quite some time and developed gangrene and other infections, which led to the amputation of parts of all 10 of his fingers and both legs below the knees. And doctors believe all of this came about because he didn't get the booster of the meningococcal conjugate vaccine when he was 16 years old. Doctors say he is recovering very well despite what he's been through. Now, on to some sweeter news out of Burlington, North Carolina. As y'all know, this past Tuesday was a palindromic date, with it being the 22nd day of the second month of the year 2022. Aberly Spear gave birth to a precious little girl on that day, but get this, she was born in room 2 at 2:22 p.m. Aberly and her husband, Mark Hank, named the baby girl Judah Grace, but wait, this birth story gets sweeter. Judah's mom, Aberly, is a Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor, and the treatments that she had to take made it very unlikely that she would ever get pregnant. So Judah is quite the little miracle baby. And I bet this final story is going to get you a goat. A sheriff's office in Virginia is praising a goat named Gracie for her assistance in chasing down a fleeing suspect. Gracie assisted 2 deputies back on February 13th by flushing out the suspect that they were chasing. Now, it all started when the officers responded to a domestic violence call. When they told the suspect that he was being arrested, he took off on foot. Well, during the foot chase, the suspect led officers across a field, and this is when Gracie butted in to do her part. At one point, the goat and the officer met at a fence line, but Gracie didn't let that stop her, and she ended up chasing the suspect into the woods. Well, moments later, Gracie and the other officer were seen chasing the suspect, whose name has not been released, out of the woods, and he was then apprehended. And Gracie has been returned to her owner, and the deputies are very appreciative of her assistance. Well, that's all for today's Weekend Weird Files. Have a great weekend, and don't forget to come back on Monday for Mystery, Murder, and Magic.